Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy McLavishh, man. Peace, prosperity, and power. Mind, body, and soul. Death before dishonor. Speaking the truth, keeping the faith, holding it the fuck down, man. You already know the vibes. Welcome for coming back to the enlightened realm and sharing another video topic with me that I know you guys who are looking to align yourselves and become better version of yourselves will truly need. Today I have multiple tips on becoming a better version of yourself and therefore a better leader when you step out into this world. Now, I got a lot of people who like to ask me this question or even see it on me. The energy that I bring every single day. I'm calm, I'm nonchalant, but at the same time I carry a confidence and an energy about me that people know that dude has standards for himself. That dude is going places. I remember I was having a conversation. This was back when I wasn't in the military, but this was back when I was literally just a worker in a receiving department for a retail store. I won't go too much into details, but I having a conversation with one of my coworkers. I don't remember the conversation in general, but I do remember this. He just looked over at me. He was like, "You're going places, man. You're going places. Just by the way that your mind works, the energy that you bring, I can tell that you're going to be very successful in life." And at the time, I really didn't get it, right? I didn't see that in myself because I was still dealing with myself mentally. Yes, even I, McLavishh, was dealing with mental problems. I was still locked in my mental prison at that time, right? Because I was going through things, but neither here or there. And that leads me into my very first tip for you guys. Master emotional intelligence. You have to master your emotions. You have to be in control of your emotions, right? You have to be capable of being in control of your own emotions, right? You have to have an awareness behind them. And by that, I mean you have to understand where they're coming from. Understand where the intentions lie with these emotions, right? What are your own triggers and where do they come from? Do they come from subconsciously? You know, you've been triggered all day, right? Let's give some small examples, right? You've been triggered all day, right? You're hungry. It's hot outside. The people you're working with just seem like idiots. Now you got all these things adding up, and now you're getting slightly more irritated. This is the part where you need to check yourself and ground yourself and be aware, like, okay, I'm a little irritated right now. Why am I irritated, and what can I do in order to not project these emotions onto somebody or to something that doesn't deserve it at all? You have to have some sort of awareness to stop yourself in the moment before you do anything crazy, because if you don't master your emotions, and if you the biggest thing is anger. Anger is one of the biggest emotions where you lose control, right? And that goes for everybody. We're all humans. But anger specifically will deter you from remaining calm and rational in situations. It's just that type of emotion. It's a negative emotion, but you have to be able to process it. And if you live your life on anger, you're living your life in a very low vibrational state. You're living yourself in a low vibrational energy. And that comes with understanding that emotion, right? Because it's not allowing you to be the best version of yourself. Sure, you can use anger as motivation, but when you're in a day out grind, all that does is just make you view the world negatively. So you have to be able to stop yourself from projecting this emotion out into the atmosphere, and that comes with taking time to respond before you do things. You have to be patient with yourself. First and foremost, you have to be patient with yourself. How are you going to be patient with others if you can't be patient with yourself first? Right? Everything has a cause and effect, right? Like I said, I give you a list of examples. You're hungry, you're tired, it's been a long day at work, people are starting to get more irritated, and things are starting to add up in your mind where you're ready to just unleash on people. That's not what a leader does. It's not a person who's aligning themselves with the better version of themselves is going to do. What they're going to do is assess the situation within themselves and come out with a better opportunity that's more positive. Okay, I'm irritated right now. So let me transmute this anger into my work, into my craft. Let me not project this anger because it's not going to end in any good result, right? Or let me take this anger out when I go to the gym later. It'll be the extra fuel to my fire to knock out a workout or train in a better way. There are always alternatives, but in the situation, it's hard for you to see those things because you're so bogged down by your emotions. So you have to be able to separate yourselves from your emotions and continue to use that energy in a positive manner, right? You are your own best friend and your own worst enemy. With that, I mean, you can overthink yourself with these emotions. You can overthink situations with these emotions. You are your own best friend, which means you're the only person who can truly understand yourself. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if you don't take the time, you will be the only person on this world that doesn't understand yourself. And the world will conform you into what it wants you to be, instead of you having your own type of respect for yourself. Which leads me into my very next topic. Have a deep reverence for yourself. And if you don't know what reverence means, it just means having a deep respect for yourself and others, right? If you don't have a vision or a purpose, or a vision, a purpose, or a direction where you're going in life, how are you going to lead other people? If you don't have a vision for yourself, people will naturally gravitate towards people who are confident and carry standards and know where they're going in life. I promise you, it's a different energy that you bring every single day that people just respect you because they noticed the type of atmosphere that you bring when you're around them, right? If you don't have a vision for yourself, nobody will follow you. Nobody will follow the vision that you have. Nobody will follow what you got going on, because eventually you're just going to walk yourself off a cliff. Truthfully, you're going to walk yourself off a cliff, and you don't want to be the person that drags other people off a cliff with you. You've heard the term misery loves company. It is true. People with negative emotions, low vibrational frequencies, love to be around people and drain the energy out of them. Like vampires, literally. Energy suckers. Do not put yourself in a situation where you allow your emotions to bring you down and others down. Do not allow your negative emotions to to deter you from losing your focus and your vision in life. These things you need to be aware of. You have to have a vision for yourself. And that's not saying you have to be naive and be positive all the time, because you don't have to be. You can be content with the life that you're living and not be in a happy state or a bad state or a sad state. You can literally just be. And that way, when you sway to the right and you're happy, or you sway to the left and you're upset, you're depressed, you know the middle ground. You can just be. That is also an emotion. Just being, right? And when you carry a deep respect for yourself, for me personally, it gets to a point where I don't even have to brag on myself. The people do it for me. The people I'm around every single day understand the energy that I carry. They call me the silent killer, the man, the myth, the legend, the beast, him. All because of the energy that I carry and the standards that I have for myself day in and day out. You're not only doing this for yourself, The term that I want to use here is epigenetics. Epigenetics. This is the study or the science that DNA and trauma is passed down from generation to generation. When you have your children and your children have their children, they will pass down certain traits to their children, to your own children. What type of traits are you wanting to pass down? What type of traumas are you trying to pass down? For me personally, I'm not trying to pass down traumas. I'm trying to pass down intelligence, wisdom, athleticism, emotional intelligence, rhetorical sensitivity, financial literacy. All of these different intangibles I'm trying to pass down. So you're not only doing these things for yourself, but you're passing these down to your children, right? You want to set a solid foundation for them to stand on. You don't want them with baggage that they didn't choose to have. That is the truth. You want to set a standard not only for yourself, but for your children as well, that are not even here, or they may be here right now. God bless. But you need to set a standard and a foundation for yourself so that when you pass it on, you pass the torch to your children, they have one of the most solid foundations for them to stand upon. They see the energy that you bring every single day, and they can stand on that foundation and continue to build upon it in a positive manner. The foundation is so sturdy that they can't go back. You have to think about these things. What type of energy am I bringing that may affect my family, may affect my children, and may affect the legacy that I'm trying to leave behind? You also have to have a perspective of how it feels to be under your leadership. One, you must be a follower before you're a leader. I'm going to give you a personal example. I remember when I used to work at Kroger, right? Kroger was a couple minutes from my house. It was my first summer job, and I lasted 2 years at that job. I started off as a bag boy. I had to understand the system first, how it worked, what it felt like to be a worker at the bottom of the totem pole. Yes, it fucking sucks. That is the capital fucking T of the truth. It sucks because you don't have any authority. You don't really have any responsibilities. You're just told what to do, how to do it, and make sure it gets done. But you have to understand that position, so when you become a leader, you know what you're doing to the people who are under you. And you want to lead them to a better place. You want to lead them to your position. As you elevate, you want them to fill your role, right? And you want them to do it in a better way. So you create a system, right? When I used to be a bag boy, I was one of the most efficient bag boys. Every 30 minutes, I go out and check carts. I come back, boom, 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 clear the lines of all the people, and I'm going back outside. Right? And I slowly but surely found a peace in going out and checking the carts and making sure they were all back where they needed to go, because it separates you and it gives you time to think, right? Granted, it's manual labor and you start to get frustrated at it, but it was sort of therapeutic in a sense because it allowed me to step away from the chaos of the store and come back, all right, let's get this done. We got this stuff to do. Boom, boom, boom. I'm back locked in. I'm not angry. I'm not happy. I just am, right? And that allows me to lock in on the present moment. I'm not worried about my future. I'm not worried about the past or the things that have happened. I'm simply enjoying the present moment and learning from the experiences that present themselves, right? Now I move up. Now I'm a cashier. I gotta handle the money now. Now I have a responsibility. Make sure I'm not shortchanging people. I'm not shortchanging the company, right? Because now you have more responsibility. Now they're holding you more accountable. So I did that for a couple months, and then eventually they got me as a supervisor. And this was my first time being a leader in any situation, right? I've always carried a certain energy about me, but it was literally me just finally getting the position and realizing the position that I have. Now I'm a supervisor. Now I have to delegate and manage other people. But I now have the experience of what it's like. So I'm not going to go in there and you need to shut up, da 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 da. I'm the boss, da da da. I'm like, okay, hey, I need you guys to get this done. Not because I just want you to get it done, but because we also have other things we need to do. And now I understand that. And you have to understand that, right? You have to be able to empathize because you have the perspective of what it's like to be a follower, right? A true leader can lead from the front and the back. A true leader can lead from the front and the back. I should not have to say too much about this. You have to be willing to pull people to the objective. You have to be willing to push people to the objective. Sometimes people get down, sometimes life happens. But as a leader, you have to be able to rally the troops and continue to push them forward by any means. You have to. I know it sucks. Sometimes it sucks delegating and having to place responsibilities on people. But as a leader, you have to do it. You simply do. You just have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you take on a leadership position, you have to be willing to enforce responsibilities and hold people accountable. You have to. This is what it takes out of being a leader. This is what you ask for when you say, I want to lead people. I want to lead. You first have to lead yourself. How are you going to lead others when you can't lead yourself? So, allow yourself to understand we have to get this done. And as a leader, the people up under me have to understand that there are things that need to do in order to make sure that the mission is completed successfully. For every cause, there is an effect. If I send this person out there to do this, then they will come back and we will have more time to do this. Okay? Next, if you allow ego to rule as a leader, you will fail. You will fail. If you allow your ego to be the determining force, the driving force of how you are as a leader, you will fail because you feel like you're untouchable. There is always somebody who is better than you at the position. Always. Always. There is somebody out there in this world who is better than you in position. So do not allow yourself to feel as though you're untouchable. You must continue to work on your craft every single day. The real job does not start until you become a leader, and you have to face the trials of being a leader. Right? And you're gonna go through things, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna succeed, and it's gonna be peaks and valleys. Peaks are where you master things, and valleys are where you learn. Valleys are gonna be the lowest of the lows, and your peaks are gonna be the highest of the highs. When you master things, and then when you learn things down at the bottom, these things are going to test you day in and day out. And as a leader, you have to hold steadfast. You have to be willing to understand that every trial and tribulation is not happening to you, but happening for you. You have to. It is an opportunity for you to grow every single day. You just have to be aware of the experience as a leader. Do not allow your ego to run rampant, because people are going to resent that. People are going to call you arrogant and cocky and conceited. And by being egotistical, you're in a sense blinding yourself to more opportunities that present themselves. Oh, I've been through it all. There's nothing else There's nothing else that I have to go through. There's always something that you can go through to improve yourself. Always. Right? People are always watching you. Right? Winners get watched. Let me say that again. Winners get watched. Right? With that being said, make sure you set the best standard for others to watch. Make sure you set the best standard for others to watch. I can't count on both hands how many times I've heard toxic leadership and or nobody's a good leader. I can't count how many times I've heard that. So take it upon yourself to make the change. Because change doesn't start externally, it starts within. Well, how can I be a better leader than the previous people who've come behind me, who've come before me? And people are going to try to force things down you, force things upon you, just like society does in general. It's going to try to force things on you. This is the way you should do it. Think for yourself. You guys know that's exactly what I encourage in this community. Think for yourself. You have to. You have to be willing to think for yourself, first and foremost. How can I lead this in my way, in my lane? How can I create a new lane of leadership that satisfies not only myself, but the people that are under me and around me and above me? How can I do that? Do I conform to the old standards or do I create new ones? The choice is yours. There's a good pocket and a bad pocket for everybody. Make sure your bad pocket, you don't allow that stuff to slip. Don't allow that stuff to get out as often as you can. But the good pockets, you show up every single day. You're consistent. You're disciplined. You work hard, right? The things that you want people who are under you to notice and carry for themselves when they get in your position. Get egotistical, you start to sit on your ass and you just delegate. Yeah, go do this, go do that. People don't want to see a person who's in a leadership position really just sit on their ass and delegate. They want to see a person who's willing to get in there and do the work that they're sending other people out there to do. That's a good leader in my eyes. A person who will come out there, help me out, and even show me something new on the things that I'm doing so I can improve myself. Right, so let's keep going. Make sure you take the position serious. Give your best effort. Next, this is probably the biggest one. If you've made it this far, I want to say thank you. You truly know where you want to be in life, and I'm glad that you decided to take this content in, and I hope you apply it to your life. This is probably the biggest one. Believe in yourself and your abilities. There may be times where you find as though you don't deserve this position. This is what we like to call imposter syndrome, right? How did I get this position? I don't even feel like I deserve this. If you feel like that sometimes, the best thing to do is shut the fuck up and work hard to the point where you feel like you know you deserve this position. Personal example. I was just on a boat about a month ago, right? And we had a NASA convention on the boat, which was very dope. And there was this one African American male there. That was no offense to anybody who has worked their ass off in any other race. But when it comes to me as a black man, when I saw another black man being an astronaut, like, it does something, because what you see is just a black man who made it. What I see is a black man who's opened the door for others to make it. He got the opportunity, so now others can get that opportunity. I have a deep respect for a person who opens doors for others up under me. A very deep respect. And he told me about it. He was like, I asked him, what are some of the things you had to overcome mentally in order to be in the position that you are today? And he told me about it. He was like, imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't deserve to be here around all these fantastic people who worked their ass off to be here. So I did the same thing I would do every time, which is work my ass off to feel like I deserve it. Believe in yourself and believe in your abilities. And if you don't, work your ass off until you do. Right? Next thing, know when to pick your battles and assist others. There's going to be a lot of times where people are butting heads and they're going to try to, once again, misery loves company. They're going to try to drag you into the conversation. Hey, don't, it isn't this, da, 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 da. No. I don't deal with that. I'm going to let y'all do that. You know, we actually got something else we need to do. So whatever petty quabbles you guys are having, let's move along past that, because we actually got a task that really matters right now. You have to be stern. You have to stand on what you stand on. Of course, you have your opinion. You have your times where you want to voice your concern about different topics and things of that nature. But when I'm at work, I'm there to work. I'm not there to deal with the politics. I don't care to deal with the politics. I don't care which rank has what. I'm just there to do my job. And people see that. They know that when they give me a task, I'm going to execute it. And they don't have to come and micromanage me about it. I just execute. Because whatever I put my mind to, I will achieve. You have to have that mindset for yourself. Whatever task that happens, you will achieve it. No matter how hard it gets, you will face it and go through the grind day in and day out and be able to achieve things day in and day out. All right? Don't allow people to pull you into their narratives and their realities. You have your own reality to live. Stand on what you stand on. Stand on what you know. Stand on your truth. Stand on your morals, codes, and ethics. You have to. All right? Last but not least, coming up on 30 minutes, so I want to make sure I cover this last one. Be comfortable with failure. You will never know what success feels like if you don't know what it feels like to fail. It's just that simple. You will not know what success feels like if you do not know what it feels like to fail. You have to take failure on the chin and keep it pushing. It's only a mistake when you don't learn from it. If you learn from it, it's a lesson. More experience, more wisdom under your belt, right? Now look around you, right? Prime example right here. I see a light right here. Thomas Edison created the light. He probably failed over 1,000 times to get a light to work. And I remember this quote specifically. He said, "I never failed. I successfully found the wrong way to do things over 1,000 plus times," or something like that. Not verbatim, but I remember the quote for the gist of what it was. I successfully found the wrong way to do things 1,000 times over, right? It's all about perspective, right? If you fail and you cower and you shiver up, you're not living yourself to the best version of yourself. You're defining your character as weak. That's what you're doing. You're negotiating with mediocrity, being average. A true leader takes failure on the chin, learns from it, and continues to push every day, 24/7, man. It's your boy McLavishh. I appreciate it if you've made it this far in the video, because this is one topic that I knew I needed to get out, because a lot of people notice that the energy that I carry from myself, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. We can go into the spiritual side of it, right? So let me know if you want part 2, man. The spiritual side of becoming a better leader. Peace, prosperity, and power. Mind, body, and soul. Death before dishonor. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, baby. Speaking the truth, keeping the faith, and holding it the fuck down, man. I'll see y'all real soon. Yes, sir.